Good evening, ladies and gentlemen,
My name is Chris.
and I'm Brian.
Welcome to the Chris and Brian Show. Today we are going to discuss the TV series American Underworld.
However, we will specifically talk about the episode Sex Trade.
First, let's start off by talking about the TV series. In American Underworld, photojournalist Mark Allen Johnson explores some of the most extreme, violent, and hard to access subcultures in the United States and, for the first time, records them for television. From the inside out.
Wow, you would have to have a lot of confidence to do something like that. It seems extremely dangerous.
Yeah, tell me about it. I could never do that.
I would have to get paid a lot of money to do that.
Alright, now, before we get into the episode, what do you think about the description of it? The description states the world's oldest profession is changing. Mark hits the streets with some old school pimps and their working girls to witness the modern day game.
Well, now that I think about it, sex work has been around for many generations. There have been a lot of changes to it. Over time, it has evolved and transformed. However, it will continue to take place in our society.
I agree with you there, Brian. So, I know you have personally seen this episode many times. Can you go ahead and describe what happens in this specific episode?
Sure. First off, the episode begins with Mark contacting a woman named Debbie, aka the Glass Lady or Pimp Mother. He explains that Debbie is his main contact to connect with pimps across the nation. She talks about her role in the pimp community and describes her opinion on the pimping industry. Mark continues on to a meeting with a local pimp. Along the way, he describes how the pimp's hierarchy and their titles are relatable to that of a church. The episode shows that pimps are not afraid to be spotted and called out. They dress expensive and flashy to attract attention. Additionally, they carry a pimp cup to show their status and bling. Mark then meets with the bishop, who is the highest ranked pimp, who is currently retired but still prevalent in the pimping community, to see if he can receive access to working pimps. The bishop explains to Mark his previous status and describes why women need pimps by saying, a woman needs a pimp because they are always used to being told what to do. The bishop continues to explain the rules of pimping to Mark. Mark continues to follow active pimps and their girls on the streets and learns how pimping works. He then showcases how sex workers with pimps feel about the profession and how it's developed over time. Mark does this by showing a video of a pimp pimping and watching over his street girl, all the while transporting her to new locations. The episode explains how girls feel with pimps by using a pimp and sharing their money with them. Later on in the episode, Mark meets up with a woman that was previously with a pimp. However, she currently is not. She explains to Mark that she does not see the reason for a pimp because she believes she does all the work. Mark shows how she advertises her work and how modern technology benefits her sex work. Lastly, Mark showcases a man called Black Hef, who lives with three different women. Mark explains that the Black Hef is not affiliated with prostitution because he does not condone prostitution or pimping. The three women he lives with are strippers, and he provides photo shoots for them and his company website. The Black Hef explains that he introduced these women to his extravagant lifestyle of money, cars, and a new house. Mark shows that they live together as a family, including the women's children.
I think that episode did a good job of showing that sex work is still prevalent to our society and is showed in the different aspects of it.
I agree. However, it could have done a better job at eliminating stereotypes to show that it could be considered a real profession.
True. The filmmaker had a choice to interview and record people in the sex work profession. However, the interviews reinforces racial stereotypes associated with sex work.
Really? How so?
Well, for example, out of all the pimps shown, only African American pimps were displayed with African American prostitutes. Another stereotype I saw was that there was only one white sex worker working independently without a pimp. It sends the message that white sex workers are more independent than African Americans because the only prostitutes shown that had pimps were African American.
Yes, and these examples reinforce societal, sexist, and racist stereotypes, because this is how society views sex work as. One of these prostitutes with a pimp in the episode said that she could not do this alone, and she did try once but failed, which makes women look like they need to be told what to do.
This episode could have been improved because there are a lot of missing pieces. According to the Prostitution Facts and Fictions, An estimated 20% of all prostitutes work on the streets in the United States, although this number is hard to substantiate at the national level. Some city-level studies reported it. Regardless of the exact numbers, indoor sex work clearly accounts for a large share of the market.
The episode could have focused more on indoor prostitution because it is more prevalent in society.
True. Well, thanks for watching this segment of The Chris and Brian Show.